What's up, everyone? Eli here, back for a new stuff video. First new stuff video I've done in a while, probably a good, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 weeks, something like that. Seems like a long time anyways. I was pretty, kind of financially fucked for a while. That was awesome. But anyways, yeah, back with some new cool stuff. I've just kind of been slowly accumulating for the last couple weeks, and then today I bought a bunch of stuff. And anyways, I mean, it's not a ton, but for me, it's kind of a lot for now. I'm not going to have a whole lot in the near future. I'm also going to show the rest of my black metal t-shirt collection, and I'm going to keep doing those videos. I know not a lot of people care, but some do, and they're fun anyways. I'll probably start with death metal next. I have probably at least 30 death metal shirts, maybe probably more than that. And also, not something that I do in a lot of videos. I'm kind of under. I've been kind of under a lot of stress lately. I'm not trying to garner any sympathy or anything. I know everyone's stressed. Who the fuck it? If you're a human, you're probably stressed. I was gonna say an American, but I mean, come on. Other people are stressed too. I just feel like this country fucking sucks right now. So I bought these 2 beers from Ninkasi Brewery. No, I did buy them from the brewery. I got them at the grocery store. But I've had Ninkasi stuff in the past. They're a brewery out of Eugene, Oregon, a town that I've actually been to. A town very much known for beer. There's just tons of breweries in Eugene. Cool little town from what I remember. So, Ninkasi stuff's fine. It's not something that I gravitate towards necessarily. I'm not trying to promote Ninkasi, but I was definitely drawn to the artwork on these cans. So we got this one right here, Megalodoom. How fucking cool is that? 10%. It's a hefty bastard, right? What is this? Legendary IPA? Whatever the fuck that means. I like IPAs. I don't know if I'd say it's something I prefer. I'm kind of a lager guy, to be honest. I'm a boring motherfucker, as you already know. This next one, Velocihopter. I mean, I'm such a sucker for fucking graphic design. I mean, you got me already. This beer might be the shittiest ever. I'm going to be like, oh, this is pretty good. 6.6% alcohol in this one, and apparently less bitter than that last one. I'm going to drink one of these while I do the video. I should just do this one. I should just get fucked up while I'm recording this. And yes, I am probably lightweight enough to get a pretty good buzz going on. Fuck it, we're going to do it. As my good buddy Aaron, the metal theologian, said to me one time, you don't just stick the tip of your dick in the glory hole. I don't know if I should have said that, but I think it's funny. So, anyways, yeah, we're gonna do this. The Megalodoom. Oh, I said Megalodoom. It's Megalodon. Megalodoom would have been cooler. I think it's the metal fan in me that wanted it to say Megalodoom. So let's do this. By the way, have any of you guys had either of these beers? Let me know what you think. I'm 100% sure they're going to be decent, and I'm not really a beer snob, or even I'm barely a beer connoisseur. So I'll either like it or I don't. I'm not going to have any I'm not going to be able to articulate my thoughts on it. So cheers, guys. Yeah, it's not bad. I know a lot of the higher alcohol percentage beers I've had in the past had a really nasty taste, even upon the first sip, the taste of the alcohol just cut through way too much, and this one I would say does not. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, not bad. It doesn't taste quite like what I expected, and I do mean that in a good way. Other than that, it tastes like an IPA. I don't know what to tell you guys, but yeah, it's good. It's a hot day out, kind of refreshing. All right. It's gonna be okay. All right, let's do this. I'll do the black metal shirts last. I think I'll just start with the music because that's what most of you guys show up here for. And we'll just kind of go in order of popularity with formats. So, and if we're gonna do that, I guess we'll just start with the vinyl. I don't have a lot of vinyl here. I got 2 vinyl records, but 2 that I'm pretty stoked for. This one I already own on CD, and I've been listening to this album for fucking decades. But man, does it look cool on vinyl. It's covers like this, where people like me who I love CDs, I love vinyl too, but I'm mostly a CD guy. But when I get records like this, it's like, okay, I once again I get the appeal of vinyl, and I know it's not just the cover art with the collectors. I know it goes much more beyond that. But for me, man, it's the cover art that really gets me. But March of the Saint debut album from Armored Saint, Chrysalis Records, 84, right? 84, spot on, Eli. It's a rarity. So Armored Saint, man, traditional heavy metal out of California, LA, I believe. Kind of known for not to take any focus off the other dudes, but kind of known for John Bush, the singer, going on and fronting Anthrax for a good while. I always liked John Bush's vocals. Obviously, he's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I could see why someone would absolutely not like him, but I wouldn't necessarily say he's like the highlight of listening to Armored Saint. He's just a unique vocalist, and I always liked him. But yeah, and I don't even think this is the best Armored Saint record. I think the second album is actually their pinnacle of their career. Definitely my favorite. This might not even be my second favorite. I would say my second favorite, it might be a tie between this and the third record. That second record, though, Delirious Nomad, not a good album cover. Obviously, this was a great album cover. Their third album is a great album cover, too, rivaling this easily. But the second one, Delirious Nomad, like I said, I think it's their best album, but the cover art is weak. I don't know what they were thinking. But yeah, man, love Armored Saint. Next one, we got some, we're kind of keeping it on track with just kick-ass, traditional, heavy metal, bordering on maybe speed metal. Same era. I think this came out the same fucking year, 84, I believe. Got the Rods, Let Them Eat Metal, with possibly some of the most insane cover art ever. I mean, that's terrible. I'm not saying terrible for any reason. It's just bad. It's just bad cover art, but whatever. The Rods kick-ass, just, killer heavy metal from New York, just street tough heavy metal bordering, kind of got that new wave of British heavy metal sound. Just traditional heavy metal in general is really all you need to call them. I've never owned anything from the Rods. I have this is the Combat pressing, which is really cool because obviously Combat was a great label. I'll pretty much buy anything that Combat puts out. They didn't initially put this out. They just put out this version. I don't know the story behind that, but this is the Combat pressing. Glad to have it. Like I said, I don't. That's the first Rods album I've ever owned. So I'm not a long-time fan or anything, but I'm glad to kind of start listening to the Rods pretty much. I mean, they've always been on my radar, but next we got a couple 2019 releases. Starting with this one, I just listened to this today, actually. A couple hours ago, we got the newest album from Suffering Hour with the Cyclic Reckoning. Black death metal out of the U.S. This came out on Profound Lore Records. This is, I think, their third album. They've been around for 6-7 years, maybe more. I'm not sure. Pretty cool. I'd always just only heard good things about this band, but I have not listened to them in the past. So just going off this record, I did like it. I'll be honest, the first few minutes after I popped it in, I was kind of like, man, I kind of don't like this, but it really grew on me even just by the end of that first listen. I was like, okay, these guys are onto something. Black death metal, but it's unique. I don't know, really have no other band to compare them to. I don't know about you guys. Something that kind of threw me off at first, but ended up being kind of cool was like they have these like jangly guitar riffs, kind of reminiscent of like 80s maybe goth rock, maybe like Fields and Nephilim or something like that. I knew I was, going in, I knew this was a Black Death record, so that kind of threw me off. And at first I was like, nah, I don't like this, but it won me over by the end of the end of the first listen. So I think this is going to be a grower for me, but I think I'm going to like it a lot more. But just going off the first listen, I liked it. Not a lot of bands right now, sorry to say this, but not a lot of bands today have a unique sound, and these guys, like I said, they do. So they may be onto something cool. I don't know. Either way, definitely worth looking into. A lot of you guys probably have heard them in the past. I'm just kind of late to the party on that. So I also picked up, and I haven't listened yet, but the newest Portal album. I love Portal. What's it called? A Vow. Also on Profound Lore Records. Looks like I've already damaged the fucking digipack, but whatever. Black Death. I call them Black Death Metal. Out of Australia. I'm not going to go into, they've been around for quite a while now, probably close to 20 years, or maybe more than 20 years, but I'm not going to go into trying to say anything unique about Portal. I mean, they're a unique band, most experimental death metal. I've always kind of called them black death metal, maybe just because it's, if you're going to call them death metal, they don't sound like any death metal band ever. And they're also much more evil sounding. I'm not sure they get many influences from black metal. I don't think that matters anyways. It's just crazy music, and it's experimental. It's unconventional at times. It's horrifying. Always liked them. Also, this album, I was looking forward to this for quite a while, and I was anticipating it, but I was also wondering how it was going to sound, because I really liked their first album. I'm not real crazy on what they did since then. I heard this was kind of like almost a follow-up to that first album, and I was kind of wondering if that was true or not, but now having listened to it one time, that's very true. We had the newest album by Seth, black metal band out of France. They had their debut album, I think it was like in '95. I just absolutely love it. It's maybe, I don't know, called melodic black metal. Kind of a romantic sound. It's kind of classy sounding. I've always said that about that album, and I've never quite really understood what I mean by that. I've never been able to articulate it, but I've just always really liked that album. And yeah, the Season of Mist records, by the way. I feel like this album definitely delivers. Probably my favorite black metal album of the year so far. That said, I haven't heard very many, but even if I had, this one's still going to sit up there pretty high. At this point, it's probably going to be in my top 3 for the year, just albums in general. But we'll see. Either way, definitely gets my seal of approval, and being a big fan of that debut album, I quite like it. Forget about my beer. It's going to be a mandatory drinking video, by the way. If you're not drinking right now, if you're not cracking a beer with me, you should probably go do so. Next. So I don't have any live albums from this band. I think they have a few. As you guys know, you've probably heard me blabber about this band over the last year or so, and you've probably just been like, dude, I don't give a fuck. But for those of you that do, I got the new live album from Kansas. Point of No Return, Live and Beyond. So they play Point of No Return here in its entirety, I believe. In addition to that, they play just a live set, which is cool. I've seen Pete Pardo over Sea of Tranquility do a review of this. So if you want to hear an in-depth review, go watch that. I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do it as well as Pete, anyways. But I haven't listened to this, but from what I understand, it's a really good live album, and their live set is pretty impressive as far as like the songs that they've chosen. There's like songs from like newer albums that they don't. I wouldn't say they don't usually play, but you might not expect them to play. So pretty cool, double disc album. I'm a real big fan of that last Kansas album from, what was it, last year or the year before? Really, I think it was last year. Really, really fucking good. Blew me away, honestly, how good it was. So I'm actually really on board with this. A lot of live albums, I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever. But this one I'm actually excited to listen to. I hope I get a chance to see them live at some point. So that's it for the new releases. However, this is a new re-release through Century Media Records initially. We got the second album from Sweden's Unleashed, Shadows in the Deep. I've never had the early Unleashed stuff. I've always had like almost all their later shit, but I've never had this one. So it's got a live set tacked onto it. I'm assuming it's a live set. It says right on the fucking thing. recorded live in Vienna, January 19th, 1993. So I guess Century Media's been re-releasing some of their catalog, calling it classic re-releases, which is cool. Yeah, I think I already showed that, but there you have it. Yeah, second album, a lot of people consider this pretty much on par with their first. I think their first two albums are definitely they're classics in the death metal genre, definitely in the Swedish death metal genre. Yeah, I really need to get that first album now that I have the second. Yeah, I dig Unleashed quite a bit, actually. That's all for the music. I have a nice stack of horror movies, though. If you want to hang out and talk, chat with me about these. So, this series right here, I do like the first one. I've seen the second and third. Didn't really care for them, to be honest, but I figured I had the third one. I might as well buy the second one. We got Hatchet Part 2. And yeah, when that first Hatchet movie came out, it got a lot of attention. I liked it, and I still like it to this day. I still rewatch it from time to time. I kind of got a soft spot for it, but it's not very unique. It doesn't bring a whole lot. It doesn't bring anything new to the table, but it's just kind of, to me, it delivers on what it's supposed to be, which was just an homage to 80s American horror, the slasher genre in particular. Friday the 13th, to be even more particular. Obviously, you got the protagonist in this movie, Victor Crowley, played by Kane Hodder, who also played Jason in some of the Friday the 13th movies. A lot of people will say Kane Hodder was the best Jason. So yeah, I didn't like this when it came out, but I'll rewatch it. No, obviously I fucking bought it. I gotta rewatch it, so I'm gonna rewatch it and see if my opinion kind of changes. And this one I had not seen at all. This one is the newest newest installment in the series. From 2017, it's just called Victor Crowley. Pretty cool. I assume Kane Hodder's still on board. I'm looking at Kane Hodder. So yeah, how about you guys? Are you guys into this? I got the version that has the Blu-ray and the DVD, so I can watch it on any machine in my house, which is unnecessary, but cool. So this next movie from 1972, I've known about it forever. I just never really had any motivation to watch it, but a friend of mine just kind of started dating this girl who I guess is big into horror, and she's like, "Hey, have you ever seen Frogs? It's my favorite horror movie." And so he told me about that, and I was like, "No, I haven't seen it." So that's some pretty huge worship there, some pretty big words. So I went out and picked up a cheap used copy, Frogs with Sam Elliott. I really like the original movie poster that they show on the back there. It's quite cool. But yeah, never seen it, and like I said, I never really wanted to, but not for any reason. I just figured it probably sucked, and maybe it does. I also picked up the original Crazies, which I've seen the remake, and I have never seen the original. It's an old George Romero movie. Honestly, as far as remakes go, I think that the Crazies remake is one of the best remakes ever done. So it looks like this originally came out in 1973. So I got this cool Blue Underground re-release. I do like Blue Underground. They seem to do just good work. Maybe not as, at least I don't know. I think maybe most of my Blue Underground DVDs are older. I don't know actually if they are still doing shit. I was gonna say maybe not as nice as like Arrow Video or Vinegar Syndrome or what have you, but then this is from 2003. I don't know if I've actually bought anything they've done recently, and I'm also not sure if they're still doing shit. So maybe you guys can clue me in on that. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go look it up after this video. But yeah, they've always done nice work. Original movie poster there, very cool. So yeah, stoked to watch that. This next one right here, I think, is one of the better let's just, I mean, fuck it. One of the best horror movies in recent years. Last 10 years or so, I think this one was. I haven't really heard of anyone not liking it. If you don't, that's fine. It's, opinions are worth to you, whatever they're worth. But yeah, this came out in 2018. Got Hereditary. You guys have all probably seen it. If not, give it a watch. It's definitely, at the very least, it's worth a watch. But I quite enjoyed it enough to go out and buy it, even after watching it for free. So, yeah, good movie. Last but not least, we have, I think this is pretty new, 2020. I'd just never seen it around. It's another Shudder original, which I like all the Shudder originals I've seen so far, so I figure I'm to the point where I'm cool with buying them, blind buying them. So we're just saying a lot. It's some high praise there. We got the Mortuary Collection. It's an anthology, and I'm kind of a sucker for anthologies, so yeah. Thought I'd check it out and see if it's any good. Let me know what you think if you've seen it. Stoked. So that is all the music and all the movies. I'm just going to finish this video with, like I said, the remainder of my black metal shirt collection. I apologize if I've shown any of these before. I did kind of get them mixed up. This is like the 4th or 5th video, I think, that I've shown just my black metal shirts in. So, the mighty Mystifier from their tier demo. No, this didn't come out back then. That would be cool. This is Nuclear War Now did this 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago. I'm a big Mystifier fan. Had to have it. To this day, it's one of the shirts that I probably wear the most. Absolutely love it. Then I got one of my favorite Finnish black metal bands, Horna. Bought this through Moribund Records probably at least 10 years ago, probably 12 to 13 years ago. This is Blood, Fire, Death on the back. Just a cool shirt. Nothing else really. This one right here, fuck, I might have shown this one. Yeah, I think I showed it. If not, we got Abominator with Barbarian Mortal Worship. Their classic demo, killer Australian black death metal band. Barbarian black metal. Apologize if I showed that already or if you've seen it. Yeah. Might have shown this one already as well. Maybe not. Crucifier. Also got this from Nuclear War Now. This is the by Disgrace of God demo. Crucifier, one of my favorite death metal bands. Just killer, kind of black death, even kind of doom metal, black death doom, whatever you want to call it, out of Pennsylvania. And Rotting Christ. Thy Mighty Contract. Very killer shirt. One of my favorite Greek black metal bands. I've had this one for a long time here. Gorgoroth with Destroyer. There's the back. Probably my favorite Gorgoroth album. Classic Norwegian black metal band. Picked up this shirt only just a couple years ago through a trade with the dude behind the project. Got Recluse. Really, really cool shirt. Recluse. Black metal out of the US. Just raw, chaotic, insanely hateful black metal. Got this one from Holy Mountain Printing. Very cool screen printer or whatever you want to call it. Leviathan. 10th sublevel of Suicide from his debut album, classic debut album, one of the best black metal albums to come out of the US, I would say. We got Killgasm with Bloodbath of Satanic Vengeance. Kind of a black metal grindcore band out of the US. They're not active anymore. The shirt is clearly a bootleg, but I bought it back in my eBay bootleg buying days, back when I didn't really know any better. Mortuary Drape. Still a pretty cool shirt. Dissection into Infinite Obscurity. I got this from Necroharmonic Records. I don't know if he has any more, but fuck, I wear the shirt all the time. Definitely one of my favorites. And last but not least, Bestial Mockery. One of my favorite black thrash bands out of Sweden. One of my favorite black thrash bands just in general, but they are out of Sweden. I bought this off eBay some years back. I was told Hell's Headbangers initially put that out. So, and comic book of the day, Martial Law, issue number 3. Martial Law was this is from Epic Comics, by the way. Martial Law was kind of a character. When was this? Was this early 90s, late 80s? Yeah, 1988. So Martial Law was like a kind of like a Judge Dredd type character, I guess you could say. He was a cop, but he would like seriously fuck people up. Like, yeah, he would kind of go the Judge Dredd route, and he would just arrest people, but he would fuck them up on a pretty serious level. And yeah, it was a pretty grisly comic, especially for the time. Pretty violent, as you can see. There's the fight between him and whatever the fuck this guy is. Yeah, I've never really taken like a deep dive into this series, but I probably need to. Just if it's violent and it's a comic book, it's pretty much got my attention. So, anyways, that's all I got, guys. If you made it to the end of this video, I fucking salute you. You are my hero. And talk to me about shit. Other than that, thanks for stopping by. Louis says hello, and we'll talk soon. Yeah. Cheers.